Welcome to Meliora Therapeutic Studio, where you can find support and inspiration for an ever better love and life. Before we get started, I want to share a beautiful truth with you. Love is not so much a feeling or an action. Love is a power. It influences absolutely everything. And if your body vibrates with love and yet you feel powerless somehow in your relationship, you belong here. This masterclass intends to empower you and give you the skills you need to influence your most important relationships. I'm going to offer you some anecdotes for the challenges of love and intimacy when being together becomes hard. During times of high conflict, when we need closeness to repair the relationship, we often feel more distant, lonely, and frustrated instead. If your relationship has become more tense and less romantic, and you're struggling to stay together, and yet your commitment is still strong, this is for you. Even if your partner says it's all fine, or it's all in your head, and even if they can't or won't join you here. Did you know that all relationships grow in phases? Well, you may have heard of the honeymoon phase, but mainstream psychology identifies 3 or 4 more stages, and I've added a 5th, so let's have a look at that. Most people are familiar with stage 1. It's that wonderful stage of falling in love and all of those delightful hormones that fuel a state of euphoria. This chemistry stage is highly pleasurable. We all crave it all of the time. In fact, every species on the planet is kind of addicted to it. If you're here, though, you are probably past stage 1. In the next phase, a commitment becomes a promise and/or a set of vows. This is the stage where couples will set their domestic dreams into motion. Stage 2 usually has a ceremony of some kind, either social or private, which might be casual, traditional, or somewhat on the radical side. In stage 3, reality really kicks in. With the strains of domestic duties, careers, finances, and family, there is less time and energy to support each other, never mind having a romantic rendezvous. Here is where we often face the conundrums of midlife struggles. We get on each other's nerves at the point of drifting apart. Couples in this phase will often say that they feel more like roommates than soulmates. The bad news is that this stage can last up to 7 years or more. The good news is I've cracked the code and you can shorten or even eliminate this stage. My personal mission is to see that the label for this stage becomes something more poetic, like the fervent tango or the dance of devotion, instead of the struggle stage. I'm sure you have a vision of what your relationship could be like when it matures. Stage 4 is where trust, respect, and acceptance become more solid. Mature couples appreciate each other. They have let go of most of the drama of the previous stages, and their relationship feels comfortable and sweet. However, this stage can also come with the acceptance of many disappointments and some boring narratives. And so we come to my spicy goal for all relationships, an epic love story. Stage 5 is only possible if there is a commitment to the adventure of authentic romance. There's no recipe for it, but today we will look at a way to map it out. The fact is that only 3% of couples can currently claim that they have romantic intimacy. And the statistics for love haven't changed at all since I got married 30 years ago. If anything, they've gotten worse. Half of all marriages still end in divorce. Half of those so-called successful relationships are more about duty than romantic love. Betrayal trauma is still rampant, with infidelity and addictions prevailing, and extremely lonely and empty relationships exist all around us. It's all pretty dismal. But you made it here, and so you can be one of the small but growing numbers of couples who have peak levels of romance in their committed relationship. After this presentation, I think you will be inspired and full of fresh ideas. You absolutely can rekindle your love life. You can become a renegade couple who cures romance deficit disorder forever. But before I digress into swooning sonnets, let's pause for a moment and reflect on which stage you are currently in, or what stage you think you're transitioning into, and how long have you been there. Most people I work with are stuck in the power and crisis stage, but I bet you are all longing for stage 5. Am I right? While you reflect on that, I will share a juicy bit of my story with you. I met my husband on a bridge over Otter Rapids about 30 years ago. We plunged over the rails hand in hand, and all we knew about each other were our names. Coming up for air and seeing each other was extremely romantic. And our stage 2 was pretty magical too. However, once we started having babies, we entered stage 3 big time. Our home life became tense and stormy, and we tried everything to stay together, from epic family trips to counseling and even radical tantric exercises. We also faced intense issues around substance dependency, infidelity, and mental health, which all boils down to my point that whatever you're going through right now, you're not alone, and you will have my complete empathy and support. In 2008, I started studying relationships out of extreme desperation. I did not want to become another divorce statistic, and I didn't want to live in an empty marriage either. So I rolled up my sleeves and I did 12 years of heroic searching and study. In 2020, I completed my studies in counseling psychology. Our youngest graduated, and we moved into a tiny house on a ranch with 5 horses, 2 dogs, and a herd of cattle. And that's where Meliora Therapeutic Studio began. We have an epic love story, and we are both so proud of our life together. And if we can do it, so can you. The truth is that all relationships will experience conflict issues, but all too often, the conflict becomes a catastrophe instead of an opportunity for deeper intimacy. And it doesn't need to be that way. When couples use fight strategies like control, manipulation, and punishment, or keep the peace strategies like shutting down, withdrawing, or leaving the conversations, it only leads to more hard feelings and tears, which slowly destroys romantic feelings. Whether you avoid conflict like a plague or apply pressure trying to force it away, you're harming your intimate bond. My husband and I definitely tasted the bitterness of disconnection, resentment, loneliness, confusion, and frustration. No matter how many talks we had, it seemed to get worse. And that's because we didn't have communication issues. We had connection issues. But since 2012, we have transformed our marriage to that peak 3%, and I'm proud to say that I figured out how to help you do it too. So I do have an extensive year-long program called Maps to Intimacy for couples who want my support to end the painful conflict and revitalize their romantic connection. It's a set of methods that fosters relationship intimacy on all levels. I want you to know about my program because I can't give you everything in this presentation today as much as I wish I could. And I also don't want to waste our time with salesy promotions. So if you want the details about Maps to Intimacy, please connect to my website or send me a message through social media. Our focus for the rest of this masterclass is really on giving you powerful tools to improve your relationship starting today. I hope you're ready for that. Here are the 4 elements of romantic intimacy we're going to cover today. I'm going to give you a little experiment to try for each one. I will show you how to grow more appreciation in your couple culture. We will encourage your romantic mindset. I will help you to better understand body language, and then we will reframe perceptions about conflict by shifting into curiosity. How about that? Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Wow. Oh my God. I'm so impressed that you showed up here to work on your romantic relationship. That in itself means that you are incredibly brave. You're probably juggling 1,000 things already, but your capacity for love must be so huge. You're willing to figure out how to make love work, and you just won't give up. Your partner is so fortunate to have you in their life. In my eyes, you're a phenomenal person. I already know you're amazing, but I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being you. How does that make you feel? I just gave you appreciation. It's a very potent skill, and I'm wondering, when was the last time you shared authentic appreciation with your partner? How would it feel to say or hear, "Honey, I think you're amazing. You're an incredible person, the best. I'm so grateful to be with you. You have a beautiful soul, and I'm so proud of who you are in this world, in this relationship that we have together." Imagine that. I'm sharing with you the number one habit that's so simple and yet so powerful, it might feel like a miracle. A culture of appreciation. I advise couples to work up to giving 5 appreciations per day. Of course, general kinds of compliments are nice, but we're not talking about those. I encourage you to create a culture of appreciation in the highest quality, and for that, I have to explain descriptive praise to you. Instead of the vague versions of "good job" or a polite "thank you," you get more specific with your partner about what you appreciate and what it means to you. It means you tap into the intimate details of core values, feelings, and what they mean to you. Here is an example. Instead of "thanks for the present," you might gush, "Hey love, this gift is perfect for me. Wow, you're the best gift giver I know. Every time a birthday comes around, you put so much thought into selecting and wrapping the presents. The excitement you create on every special occasion gives our whole family so many joyful memories. Every gift I have from you is special to me. It's not about what they've cost, it's about the heart that's in it. I really appreciate every gift, and I adore that beautiful quality about you." So what do you think about appreciation? Can you imagine how it creates a culture of fondness and how it has people feeling more valuable, more special, and more loved? And you know what the best thing is? Appreciation is contagious. If you started today and give 5 per day, you will notice a significant difference in only 2 weeks. Now, appreciation can take some practice, especially if you have negative sentiment overdrive. So here are some simple methods to help get you started. Start a list on a pad of paper or a secret list of some kind, and every day put down a few items. It's okay to start with smaller things and then share 1 per day before you go to bed. Grow it from there. Another idea is to create an appreciation journal together with your partner and keep it in a common place where you can share appreciation messages with each other. My third idea is to make it a bit of a playful ritual by using the prompt, "I love you because," and complete it 5 times verbally or in a creative text with a GIF or emoji. That's an added bonus. Appreciation can feel like magic, but it's actually biochemical. It triggers the release of love chemicals like oxytocin and those good feeling endorphins. So if you try it, please share your experience in the comments at the bottom of the video and have a read of what others are commenting too. Being romantic, it's more than poetry, chocolate, and moonlight, right? Of course. True romance is unique for everyone, but I can distill it to one ingredient, and that is desire. A brave and authentic desire is the alchemist of romantic love. When you have clear signals about what you want, it's quite magnetic. Think about the opposite. If you asked your partner, "What would you like for supper?" and they told you a long list of all the foods they don't like, not sushi, not burgers, not pasta, not steak, not pizza, it all becomes a buzzkill real quick. And that's because you're longing to hear their desire. Instead, imagine them saying, "What I would love is to wrap my mouth around those crispy, salty tacos. Ooh, yeah, you know, the ones with that drippy, juicy coleslaw. That's what I want." Totally different, right? So now it's your turn. What is one desire you are having in this moment? What would make your body hum? What food for thought does your mind crave? What would fulfill your heart's longing? If you answered these kinds of open questions every single day, it's likely you would get some variety and some consistently strong desires. And that's why I recommend cultivating your desire every single day as a radical self-care and a compass in mapping intimacy. You can jot down a list of 5 or 10 authentic desires, and then I want you to hold one of them in your imagination each day, as if it's already come true. Could you do that right now? Give it a try. Have one little desire and imagine it coming true. Scan your body for the sensations that come alive when your desire is held. Be aware of your thighs, your belly, your chest, neck, hands, and cheeks. Good. Now become aware of your emotions and imagining the fulfillment of your desire. What feelings can you name in your emotion body? Okay. Now visit your mind with that beautiful desire in fulfillment. What thoughts can you have as a result of holding the image of your desire coming true? Lots of people struggle to allow their desire to have a voice at all, even for just a minute. And I'm not saying you must fulfill every desire you have, only that it's healthy to let your desire be present and alive. Now then, if you want to take it a little further, choose a desire to say out loud right now, privately. Put a voice to your desire 3 times, once from your head, then from your heart, and then from deep in your belly. Say, I want. I want. I want. And see if you can visualize it really coming true. Tune into your body sensations, your emotions, and your mind. A consistent connection to desire makes you more open to joy, pleasure, and confidence, great ingredients for intimacy. Once you are firmly grounded in validating the beauty of your own desire, you might expand your practice by voicing that desire to your partner without any expectations and see what happens in your relationship. You might even ask them about their desire. You could ask yourself and each other the beautiful question, what is your desire today, my dear? The body speaks louder than words, and intimacy implies that you are very in tune to each other's body language, but it is easy to misunderstand it too. So let's shift into body language and look at facial communication as an exercise. I'm going to have you look at a few images, and I want you to notice your interpretations. We're going to go very quick, but in a real situation, it's even faster. Here we go. What would you say about this person's feelings? Is he confused, anxious? Could he also be sad and on the verge of tears? What kind of interaction might you have with him? And what do you expect him to say to you? Next, how about this person? Amorous, sad, happy, sleepy? What would you do if she was looking at you? What kind of conversation could you have? And this person seems really upset, mad, fed up, or are they feeling protective? Or maybe deep down she's feeling threatened. Or is she really angry? Or is she just faking it for the camera? Hard to tell. How close would you want to be? And how would a conversation go? How about this person? Sad, overwhelmed, mad, bored, fatigued, all of it? Can you really know? Their body is closed and contracted for sure, but it's not so clear what they are feeling or thinking, is it? How would you want to approach this situation? I bet you're getting the idea. We make a lot of assumptions and interpretations about body language, and it's no wonder. Every single emotion we experience has a signature biochemistry. Emotions generate unique sensations in the body. When we look at our intimate partner, we definitely have a deeper understanding of their feelings, but we may also make a lot of misinterpretations, right? The conversations we have through body language are going so much faster than speaking with words, and in fact, words are sometimes making things worse. So, here are some basic ways we can bid for a connection without tripping over words. Even when we feel turmoil on the inside, tuning into the body language of our partner is settling. When we stay with the nonverbal connection, we are communicating deep love. Seek to share the space with your partner in a way that you can both be together, vulnerable, patient, and brave, and just present to loving each other. There will be subtle shifts in posture and gestures for both of you. As much as possible, maintain eye contact because it's potent and it's often all you need. but if a soft touch is possible, that can also reinforce that you are together no matter what. Okay, so I'll bet you can interpret what's happening for these couples without asking them. They are experiencing crisis and conflict. They are feeling the upset and the horrible dread of disconnection. What do you think might change if they stopped trying to find the right words and softened their body as they turned towards their love? Generally, conflict is not logical, it's emotional, and it becomes quite predictable. Couples will report that they go around and around in their negative cycles and patterns of confrontation or avoiding the conflict. The image on this slide depicts the most common pattern, but it can take time to sort out the nuts and bolts of your particular dynamic. I want to affirm that we are in the realm of disagreement and differences and not condoning abusive behavior. Any problem that escalates into violent language or harm is toxic and often a criminal circumstance. Sometimes safety isn't easy to discern though, so if you need clarity about your perceptions, please find reliable supports to do so. For the rest of today, I want to share the primary step towards shifting any negative pattern. It's the concept of emotional regulation. Conflict begins when a disagreement or a misunderstanding is perceived as a threat. Whether it is big or small doesn't really matter. Instinctive reactions are triggered. Survival responses are faster than thinking, and that's just as it should be, right? But I want to help you understand your own default mode. There are 4 key survival responses, and likely your partner has a different one than you. You will both be braced for a confrontation which doesn't feel safe, but even worse, it shuts us off from any emotional intimacy. And yet, emotional intimacy is the cornerstone of epic love. Are you already aware of your default conflict style? When you are upset, is your urge to fight, flee, freeze, or fawn? Does your primary reaction look like control or anger? Or does it look like disappearing or hiding? Or maybe your first reaction is to quickly leave and abandon the situation. Or maybe you just have an urge to placate, submit, and obey. How about your partner? What's their style? It's nearly impossible to change your primary response, but it is possible to stop it and choose a different action before you get looped back into your pattern. Since everyone's first response is usually dramatic, we need an equally drastic strategy to work with here, and that is the halt. The key to a successful halt is that you have a pre-agreement about what it looks like. All verbal talking stops immediately, and you set an agreeable time to reconvene. Unlike avoidance, the halt is temporary so that you both can sort through the wild emotions and mental mess. During the pause, you engage with self-care and figuring out a better way than whatever your conflict pattern has been. You might be able to tell your partner, "I'm too upset. Let's halt. This is important, so I don't want it to get worse. I love you. We will figure this out. So let's try again in the morning or some other time." Alternately, many people find that words don't come easily at all, so they have a gesture or code word associated with their halt and a clear agreement about what a halt looks like for them. A suitable protocol will soothe the insecurities around abandonment for both of you and give you quality time to figure things out. Imagine the nervous system is like a bottle of good champagne. This bottle is full of passionate wisdom. But when you get upset, it's like you have shaken the bottle, and opening it is going to waste all the champagne as it flies across the room. So self-regulation removes that cork slowly in your nervous system so you can benefit from your best and wisest qualities. Whether you're familiar with emotional regulation or not, you will appreciate that I compare it to constipation. My saying is, better out than in, and like a good visit to the bathroom, you often do the most important part of regulation on your own. So let's flush this out a bit more, pun intended. Once a halt is called, you need to sort through your emotions and get them moving in a safe way. Specifically in this step, the task is to go beyond the part of you that is mad, sad, confused, and frustrated to figure out the vulnerable feelings, to open up to wise, caring, and helpful options that would make it better for both of you. During a halt, the focus is to get intimate with yourself so that you can connect with your partner without a hullabaloo. When I resist a halt and I want to pursue the conversation when we are too upset, I use a mantra to help me go into self-regulation. Connect first. Or connect before communicate works as well. It's important to remind yourself that you want love more than you want to control the situation. Here are some options to help you get connected with yourself if you need some ideas. Immerse in therapeutic practices such as journaling, movement, art, music, howling, or pillow boxing, or something. You might just need a nap or a cup of tea to simmer down. A soothing candle might be an option for you. As you take care of yourself, sort out what makes you upset and see if you can soothe that wound up part. Reframe or tame all the urges to accuse, blame, or criticize your partner or yourself. These only tend to make us more defensive and blocked from intimacy. Once you open more softly to your vulnerable feelings, you can engage with the open question, what needs to happen next? As in, what do we need to do or say or talk about here? You will know that you are ready to restart talking about the conflict when you want to understand your partner better. When you are in a state of what we call curiosity, you will have more questions than commands. Curiosity is the key to great verbal communication. When both of you are settled enough, reconvene with sharing your emotions and thoughts and problem solving. Take the time to create a safe and brave space together. Begin with holding hands, making eye contact, hugging, or breathing together. Reassure each other of your intentions to figure things out. Acknowledge the courage and appreciate the love that exists in your relationship. Then turn towards your needs as a team. You got it? Please remember, it won't be perfect. We are going for ever better steps. What do you think? You now have 4 elements and many tools to put into practice, and I'd love to hear or read about what you try and how it goes. But before I bid you farewell, I want to leave you with my most ardent message. While it's important to have the information and skills to get out of negative patterns, my goal is to generate a romantic revival, and for that I want to share with you my best unkept secret. Besides the elements of appreciation, self-care, body language, and curiosity, I want to inspire you to give attention to growing your romantic desires. Specifically, I want to encourage you to design connection rituals that are epic and way more powerful than your fight patterns could ever be. I want you to have go-to ways to restore your intimate connection and make it radically romantic. Wait a minute. Did your brain just flip into thinking about sex? LOL, I get it. Our culture has created a strong association between intimacy and sex. Romantic intimacy makes for wonderful sex, but sexual activity on its own is fomance. So let me say that your relationship rituals may include sexy qualities, but the kind of connection rituals I want for you are the ones that open powerful emotional intimacy between you every day. So here is my advice about sexuality for today. Go through each of the intimacy skills I have given you so far and review them in the context of your sex life. Practice sexy appreciations. Tune into sensual desires. Turn towards the slow, deep simmer of your attraction and stay curious about expanding your spicy adventures. Your full kit of romantic rituals includes the recreational games you play, the social and family events you attend together, the meals you share, the little gifts and messages you send on a regular basis. Connection rituals include how you bid farewell before work, how you greet each other when you arrive home, and how you kiss goodnight. And they also include spontaneous invitations to go on dates or try something unusual. Relationship rituals are the daily habits that maintain romantic connection to remind you of the special bond you have. Include slow dances, sensual massage, and comforting snuggles. take the time to celebrate the romantic habits you already have, I'm sure you do, and take a moment to create the ones that inspire your desire. Intimacy is the shiz that cures romance deficit, so when life gets loopy, frustrating, and hard, we can connect with our beloved. Intimacy is not automatic or a tried-and-true recipe. It is a commitment to practice. Research affirms that folks heal everything better when they have a healthy bond of intimacy. All my life I was told that romance is a fairy tale myth, but it isn't. So now let's celebrate this moment. We did it! This is farewell with big hopes from me that this masterclass has served you and that you will join the romantic revival in your own way. Cheers to your ever better life and love. In Meliora, my best wishes for you and yours.